Good morning to all of you. It's been a great pleasure to be in front of such an august audience, and thanks Prem and Cafe Mutual for giving me this opportunity. Hope all of you can see the screen. So thanks Prem for setting up the context. So here I'm a neutral party. I am not representing any mutual fund or any manufacturer. So we are a service provider. So I've taken a neutral stance in terms of presenting an unbiased view of SIF market and trends. So just to give you the context, this being the first session and first conference on SIFs in Bangalore. So I don't want to keep it very heavy. So just want to keep it little more ease and provide some insights to the MFD community in terms of how this product landscape is catching up. Some important points what Prem also articulated was, you have seen multiple stakeholders are increasing. So 20 years back, 25 years back, when I started my asset management journey, so there were 40 mutual funds. And till about a year back, there were again 40 mutual funds. So there were hardly any increase in number of mutual funds. In between, a lot of global players like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Fidelity, multiple players came in alliance. So all of them came in and moved out, and there were only 40 AMCs in the industry. But today, if you see, like at least we are seeing 60 odd AMCs, including the registered ones, and new licenses of close to about 10, 15 are in pipeline. So maybe by end of this year, you will have 75 odd licenses on the asset management space. And most of them want to ride the SIF wave. It's not about the traditional mutual fund journey. So Prem also mentioned like Nuvama. So they are starting with the SIF. So that shows the conviction in terms of asset managers, especially in this particular asset class. It is not only the asset managers who are increasing, even the distributor fraternity also. About 2 years back, there were 120,000 distributors. It moved up to 150, and now we are in excess of close to about 2.25 lakh distributors. And even if you take the active distributors, it's close to about 1.5 lakh active distributors in the country. And SIFs are no exception. And in fact, like during a brief chat with Prem, I was just also checking, what is the reason to do a maiden SIF event in Bangalore? Why not in Mumbai? So the reason which he stated was like the maximum SIF distributor density in terms of people who have cleared SIF NISM 13 exam is in Bangalore. Kudos to all of you guys. Today, as a distributor, what is the major risk which each of you are facing? Definitely, it's not market risk. It is not credit risk, not interest rate risk. It is the HNI attrition risk is the biggest risk. With more and more MFDs coming in, this is the major risk which each one of you is facing. So how do you provide differentiated solutions? See, with no iota of doubt, mutual fund is a great product. But will mutual fund suffice for the client's portfolio? Definitely not. As a part of the portfolio allocation, you need to have multiple products. You don't have to have umpteen number of products, but at least limited allocation into multiple asset classes and strategies is required. That's what SIFs play a critical role. So what I have tried to do is, since the data is pretty much limited, so I have tried to make some insights about what is based on the available data. So as I mentioned, like it took 40 years for the mutual fund business to reach the distribution maturity what it has seen today, whereas SIFs are just 14 months old and still counting. So even though the distributors count has not increased significantly, but the traction is and the interest among the investor community, distributor community, and more importantly, the manufacturers, the asset management companies are showing greater interest. This is the statistics Prem mentioned. I will not dwell. So as we speak, this is May end numbers. As we speak, these numbers, the live schemes have gone up to 26 and SIFs have gone to close to about 19 and the AMs have already crossed 15,000 crores. So this is just a snapshot. So what is very interesting here is I'll just highlight on 2 points. One is the investor folios. Within 13 months, the number of investors have reached close to about 60,000 investor folios. And the number of distributors have crossed 7,000. So that shows a clear testimony in terms of how this asset class is growing. So can anybody make a guess on GIFT City? Because everybody is talking about GIFT City. There are 300 fund management entities. how many unique investors are there in GIFT City across all 300 investors, 300 asset management companies? There are just 6,000 unique investors in GIFT City across 300 FMEs, including domestic and global. Whereas this particular asset class, within 13 months of its foray, it has crossed close to about 60,000 unique folios. But again, it is very lopsided towards hybrid. Now, more and more asset managers are looking at different strategies. So maybe the manufacturers would be able to throw more light on this. See, this is a very interesting data point which I want to highlight, because since there is not much of information on SIFs, I've taken a mutual fund scenario and tried to extrapolate it. So if you see the below one, this is the folio count. Since 2009 to 2020, the folios grew by, I'm talking about folios, not the unique investor, grew by 4.3%. Whereas like last 5 years, if you see, it's a little outdated, but the trend is even more better now. So if you see, the folio count has increased by 21.6% CAGR. On the top, if you see the AUM per folio, which means the average AUM per folio grew by 9%, whereas in the last 5-year period, it grew by 9.8%. So these numbers may not look great, but look at the folio count. The growth of folio over the 5 years has been 22%. On a 22% folio growth base, the AUM per folio has grown by 10%, which is a significant number. So if you see, average ticket size was close to about 1,20,000, but right now it is close to about 2 lakh, which means any investor, any unique investor whom you're talking about, folio has 2 lakhs minimum AUM in his folio. This is folios. Today we have close to about 20 lakh plus folios, but unique investors are only 6 lakh unique investors. So if you try a factor of multiplication by 4, so which means the average ticket size, especially even in a mutual funds, goes up to 4.5 to 5 lakhs. So HIF is not a long stretch for distributor community to look at. So even an average investor is investing close to about 4 to 5 lakhs in mutual funds. So definitely this is not a overstretch. This is just a trend. So I'll not dwell too much on it. So it started off with 2,000 crores. As we speak, close to about 15,000 crores. And this is the net flows. Is it like an aberration? Only NFOs are garnering money? Definitely that's not the case. There has been a persistent growth in terms of SIF AUMs. So on an average, like industry has been clocking close to about 1,500 crores of net incremental inflows into SIFs. So this is the channel-wise distribution. AUM, kudos to all of you. Still 70% of the investors are coming through distributors. And if you see the folios, it is 82% of the industry folios are through distributors, which is only 18% of the folios are coming through direct. And in terms of T30 versus rest, like there is like proliferated growth, especially in smaller towns also. If you see the folio growth, it is 78% versus 22%, which is a decent number, especially for beyond 30 location. And as Prem also mentioned, in terms of asset class, like hybrid long short is one asset class which is garnering interest. So this is the biggest bottleneck. So see, even though Bangalore has the high density, but that density itself is very poor. So what is the major challenge? Everybody says like, okay, NISM exam. But what is the reality is, it is not like a simple mutual fund exam. So you need to have much more insights in terms of understanding of the markets, like especially in derivatives, because I have just seen the curriculum, and in fact, we have just ran various sessions, and we have launched a YouTube channel also for SIF training. So I know the intensity of the curriculum. So distributors, see now so far we have seen the growth of SIF's investor interest. So now the distributor interest is of paramount importance. Distributors should show more interest. Investors are interested, but the community is still very, very, very small. So this is one area which needs significant improvement. But have we grown? Yes, definitely. The first April last year, only 284 distributors were there. As we speak, close to about 7,000 distributors have cleared NISM exam. So which shows that there is a significant improvement. Next 3 to 5 years, we expect close to about 30,000 to 35,000. So this is not like a mutual fund. You will not have 1 lakh, 2 lakh distributors. This is a niche segment. So it's always better to be an early mover because investor trust and investor confidence is building up. So distributors have to gear up for catching up with the speed what the investors are looking at. Especially in distribution, one thing which is very important is you need to slow and steadily build growth. Since because there is a new asset class which is coming, so you don't have to polarize your client's portfolio into single asset class. So even though mutual funds provide some sort of cushion, you can start adding 10 to 15% of your client's portfolio into SIFs. So this is just little more statistics. There is huge amount of headroom. And why SIFs will continue to be a dominant asset class is India stands fifth in the world in terms of number of ultra HNI individuals. Every day, 5 new ultra HNI individuals are getting onboarded into the ecosystem. So there is immense opportunity, not only in small towns. If you see, like 26% of the assets are from B30. So which means it's not only from the large big metro. See, SIFs is no longer a top 8 city phenomena now. So it's across all markets. So this is the polarization among distribution community. Left side is the mutual fund and right side is the SIF. So though it may not be a meaningful comparison because the time period is pretty small, but still if you see the polarization, the top 5 distributors in mutual funds, I'm talking about banks, NDs and MFDs, 56% of the industry AUM comes from, I'm talking only about equity. This is not institutional. So only equity, 56% of the AUMs come from top 5, whereas SIF is much more spread across. Top 5 contribute to only 20, even top 15 contributes to, so there is a delta of close to about 22% difference vis-a-vis the mutual fund. But as we move up the ladder, like if you see on top 100, SIFs and mutual funds are pretty similar. The reason being the number of people who have taken SIF examinations are pretty limited. Over a period of time, we don't see this much of polarization. So there is a widespread opportunity for distributors. Today, when you go to an investor, see today like in India, we have crossed 20 crore demat accounts. Every investor wants FNO, everybody wants to trade. So, but the reality is this, what an SIF manager brings in. So he will bring in expertise, risk management, what Prem also spoke about. There is no emotional bias, there is no dissonance in decision making. But today what is happening is most of the investors are trying to take decisions on their own. So this is the reality. So you may get lopsided gains for a particular period of time, but over long term, this is not going to be sustainable. So as distributors, it's always better to educate investors to come through an SIF route. These are the choices. So today we have 21 schemes. Maybe 1 year down the line, you will have 100, 150 SIF schemes. How do I choose the SIF schemes? See, is it so easy in mutual funds to choose a scheme? Since I don't have the SIF data, I've just tried to take the mutual fund data. So this is the, this is again last year's data. So this is the investment paradox which both investors as well as distributors are faced with. So if you see the fund which was ranked in 19 to 22, the best performing fund was the worst performing fund in the subsequent 3-year period. So even the fund which was worst performing was the top ranked fund. So this is not on a discrete time period I'm talking about. I'm talking about on a rolling basis also. If you see on different 3-year rolling periods, if you see the rank, the fund which was 1 was 311, fund which was 1 was 181. On the right side, if you see, it's the performance persistence. The fund which was there in the top quartile continued to stay in the top quartile only 25% of the time on a 3-year basis. If you go to long term, on a 5-year basis, the fund which continued to be in the top quartile persisted in the top quartile only 20% of the time. So that shows that like there is lack of persistence. So which means in terms of selection of schemes and identifying the right schemes is even more difficult when it comes to SIFs. So I'll just move on. So now what is more important? Today investors are also faced with the dopamine issues. Everybody wants to say like, I know everything. So this is what investors should learn. So what is like distributors add lot of value to what especially these kind of complex asset class. See, unlike mutual funds, it's a relatively easier asset class to decipher. Whereas SIFs are much more complex and more instruments come in, then it becomes even more difficult. So that is what is a clear output of this. Like 70% of flows are coming through distribution only. So this is the month-on-month folio growth. Started from 7,000 and we have reached 56,000. And this is the distribution in terms of folios, how the folios have been growing. So though it is pretty lopsided to couple of asset managers, but the reason is it's not that the others are not growing. The reason is they had an early mover advantage and others are now catching up, and many new asset management companies are launching SIFs now. So you'll see this trend reversal also happening going forward. See, this is one interesting slide I just want to focus upon. Who are these three gentlemen? Three gentlemen from different polarity. One, all of us know Warren Buffett. All three are legends. This is Warren Buffett. His style of investing is value investing. Just get the undervalued stocks, buy, hold, and just make abnormal profit. The second gentleman is Jim Simmons. How many of you know Jim Simmons? He is one of the world-renowned fund manager who runs Medallion Fund. The fund has given 66% gross return over 30-year period. The CAGR of 66% over a 30-year period. Such a phenomenal performance this fund has given. And this fund doesn't believe in fund managers at all. He takes NASA scientists, he takes physicists from different parts of the world, and it's purely data-driven approach, and the fund has been able to give incrementally year-on-year growth. And we may say like, okay, data, so everybody can try that data-driven approach. In India, it doesn't work because everybody says data is gold, but in India, it's still crude. So I would say like this data-driven approach, still India is on a fund manager-driven journey. But this is another legend. The last one is Carl Icahn. He's an contrarian thinker, activist investor. So what is one thing which is common is everybody has different styles, different strategies, but everybody is able to make abnormal returns over the benchmark on an absolute basis also. So this is what SIFs are bringing to the fold. So all of you might be a little perplexed, like, okay, I have a large MF portfolio. Why should I add SIFs? Is it going to add meaningful diversification to my portfolio? Definitely yes. I'm just taking a classic case of myself. 20 years back, I just started my mutual fund journey and I have made a reasonable allocation into mutual funds. And today, in hindsight, I have just made a prudent decision. I'm just sitting on a huge corpus. But what will happen in future, tomorrow, if I don't make strategic portfolio allocation into different asset classes like SIFs? So this will be a biggest issue. So I may have mutual funds typically gives you a portfolio approach. But what gives you an enhanced personality over the mutual fund is the SIFs. So SIFs are a meaningful flavor to the overall portfolio. So this is what is happening today. Mutual funds which are traditional in nature, investors have started, which is a fact which I have shown through statistics also. So they have started moving from traditional investments into even SIFs and alternates. So this is what I just want to give a closing remark. See, in mutual funds, we talk about style of investing, everything. Style alone doesn't give you portfolio allocation. Style alone doesn't give you performance. Style blended with right strategy is what gives you the additional alpha. So what is important for you as distributors is to just blend the style as well as strategy to your investors, and also add meaningful allocations of SIFs into clients' portfolio wherever it's appropriate, to start with 10 to 15%, and gradually you can just move up the scale. So with this, I'll just close my presentation. And if there are any questions, I'm just left with a minute. So I'm just open for any questions if you have.
As a distributor, we cannot download the statement from KFintech. When it will be possible?
For SIFs?
Yes.
So SIFs, now we are just bringing it as a part of the IRIS itself. So maybe next month you will just have a consolidated view of MF, SIFs, and also we are also bringing the AF and PMS as well. So if there are no further questions, thank you. Thanks once again, Prem and Anita and Cafe Mutual team for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you.